All right, I'm here with James KRAZE Billings, man, the king of content himself. Brentwood represent. How you doing, man?
Yes. Good, man. How you doing, Don?
Good, bro. Yeah, man. I've been like wanting to catch up with you for a long time because you're a fellow Brentwood dude, fellow editor, a documentary filmmaker. You're doing it all: music videos, short films. You had online, like web series and all kinds of stuff going on. Man, I've been a fan of yours for years, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I like that set you got.
Yeah.
The dark and all that.
Yeah, this is the Wayne's World background. This is yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I give props to Wayne's World when we first went into the pandemic and lockdown, and
Right.
we all doing these things from home. I was like, let me put the background up from like the first like podcast ever, the Wayne's
Right.
World guys. Yeah.
Right. That's right. They did do that.
Yeah, man. So yeah, so dude, when like I'm Ross building in Brentwood, I was Ross 89. When were you? Because we must have passed each other in the hallways.
I was 90 in Sunderland, man.
All right, yeah. So
I was 90 in Sunderland. I was moving around in the Ross in 89, but I graduated in 1990, but I was definitely in Sunderland.
Yeah, man. So we definitely were in the same time period
Right.
back in the day. Great time to grow up. Great time.
Beautiful time.
Brentwood, man. I think every town has their pride, but I feel there's always something a little special with Brentwood. Like whenever I run into a Brentwood person or whatever, it's always like, Brentwood,
Yeah, I mean, we contributed a lot to the game.
Brentwood's my town, home or beat down. Dress code is don't care, so take a chill, clown. Smallest place on the map, we're bustin' big cat. With girlies troop, Tim boots, and baseball cap. That's where I'm from, chump. Still buck wildin', bustin' hops. Yo, cause I'm
Contribute a lot to the music industry, for sure. I mean, there's so many of us that kind of put our mark on it out there. But yeah, man, I mean, Brentwood is Brentwood. Anywhere you go, that's home team, that's hometown,
Right on.
And we ain't talking about Brentwood, California. We talking about Brentwood, New York.
Right
That's
on.
anybody on the West Coast, no disrespect to Brentwood, California, but we talk about Brentwood, New York.
Brentwood, New York, two totally different Brentwoods,
Right.
for sure. Yeah, Brentwood, Long Island, or Brentwood. I always call it Brentwood, Strong Island, and there's nothing like, especially when we came up, and that's why, like, look, EPMD are like our main dudes here, like, you know what I mean, like especially if you came up the era we came up in, and I always appreciated them, not just for the music and all that, but for keeping it real to Brentwood,
Well, they kind of, with them, Eric and Parrish, shout out to them, EPMD.
Yeah, man.
They kind of showed us how to be proud of where you from in a time when it's 88 now. They coming out and they bold enough to say, Cold Wild and Long Island is where we rest. You know what I'm saying? And the brothers from Brentwood, Long Island. So they was kind of letting people know exactly where they was from. Everybody was flying their flag for Brooklyn or Harlem or Manhattan or the Bronx. So, they kind of taught everybody at that point on how to, move and represent. And all of us just follow suit. They like, the OGs. And then after that, we just got to kind of follow in their footsteps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like you said, back then there was, it was all about the boroughs, all about,
right.
Hip hop was, in New York was all about the boroughs, man. Forget about other states or whatever, West Coast. It was all New York, boroughs, and even
right.
being from Long Island was kind of a stigma, and but they owned it up front, and then I think helped other groups be like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna rep our towns too, like
right.
Public Enemy, and De La Soul over there in Amityville.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, like I said, they kind of set the tone. Just imagine if they never said they was from Brentwood or Long Island, then everybody else after them probably would have did the same thing. But since they kind of put it on their back, it allowed Craig Mack to, you know, say Brentwood Town shipping, gonna move your hip in. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Brentwood Town shipping, smoother than that lecture whipping with the rocket bending temporary tires that be gripping.
Yeah.
Everybody started incorporating the wood into what they were doing, and then depending on what section of Brentwood you was in, they got even more detail, whether it was Regis Park or the East Side or the West Side or the South Side.
Yep.
It's just, I think when it comes to Brentwood, we just all have a camaraderie. We all kind of, sports is big. It's always been a big thing in Brentwood.
Yeah, man.
So, it's just a place to be proud of and proud to be proud from.
Right on, man.
But proud from. There's a lot of people just came out of that small town of Brentwood.
Right on, dude.
NBA players and, all kind of music people and artists and,
Buddy McGirt.
Yeah, boxers, professional. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like for if you think about it, for that town to produce so much talent that actually affected the world is amazing.
Yeah, man. It really is. And what's cool is for me, and I don't even think people believe me when I tell them, but you'll know it's true because you're from Brentwood. You know how it goes. I learned like before when I was in Boy Scouts with Parrish, right? So
Right.
I grew up, Mr. Smith, his dad was our scoutmaster. We're born on the same day, August 7th and stuff like that. So we would always celebrate birthdays back then. But Parrish was older than me, a couple years older. And so one day he got in trouble, had to go into my tent. He got sent like from the big guy's tent to the little boy's tent, right? So he's sitting in there with me, but he started teaching me how to rap, how to rhyme. And I never even heard of rap. This is like, early 80s. And I didn't even know I was rapping or it was called rap, but he's just like, and he's, teaching me, so Dave cut the record down to the bone and now you got me rapping on the microphone. So I'm doing this whole thing. And then I thought Parrish, that was his rhyme for years until, I finally heard Run DMC. I was like, what's that? But he taught me how to rhyme, man. That's how I would learn from one of the legends, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hip hop's in trouble, yeah, we came to get her. Check the credentials, the piece, the instrumental.
Well, that's cool. One thing, my early years is, I was always like one of the younger kids that was always venturing out. So for me, back then, of course, everybody wasn't a rapper. It was only a few rap artists or people that was trying to rap. That wasn't a thing like it is now. Like, yo, I'm gonna be a rapper. That wasn't the thing. If you took interest in it, you did, and it was only a few and far between. Everybody else was just comfortable being artists and watching fans and being fans of artists. It wasn't a thing that driven you to be an artist so much, especially with rap. So just back then, I just kind of think about how fly, it was for me to really like venture out of Long Island, because at a very young age, even though I was from Long Island, I was getting on that train and going to Jamaica Avenue. My mom was like, okay, you 14. And that's when like the Long Island Railroad was like $2.50. You go in one way, it cost you $5 to go there and back.
Yeah.
And so my mom used to be like, all right, you could go to Jamaica Avenue, but that's it. And I always would find my way into Manhattan. Somehow, some way, I find myself in Manhattan, and I would hit up the arcades. 40 Deuce was crazy back then. So, we would get the fake IDs and, take the pictures on 42nd Street with you and your crew. And, that experience of just venturing out and seeing something early, not being chaperoned by your parents, but a 14-year-old going into Manhattan, like uncharted territory. Because my mom was like, stop at Jamaica Avenue. Jamaica Avenue was big for everybody, but you went into Manhattan and you around 42nd Street back then in the 80s. You talking about the height of everything that's happening in the city.
You grow up fast.
Oblivious to it at 14 and 15. You just like, oh, this is what it is, Right. And we out there just having a good time and enjoying the scenes and sights. And to me, that's it kind of put me in tune to look outside of Long Island, you know, because in order to make it in the music industry, you can start in Long Island, but you definitely got to get out of there. And I
Right,
think
right.
that's with anywhere in the country, you got to go where it's happening. That's Manhattan. You got to be
Yep.
in the city. You got to be in New York City, Manhattan, Midtown, and that's what drove me a lot. But you know, I was always interested and inquisitive. You know.
Yeah, man. And I know, like, back in the day too, um, everybody after EPMD broke, everybody started having rap groups because now we believed it. We saw these guys did it.
Right.
And you had a group, the LIE Posse,
Right.
Lyrics
Right.
in Effect, and you were more successful than most. Like I had a group too. Me and me.
I got something for you.
Oh yeah.
Let me pull this out. All my paperwork got stuck to it. But yeah, here it is.
Ah.
LIE Posse right here. Dope Beat Recordings.
Yeah, man. Awesome,
That was
bro.
one of the records that we put out in 1988. Yeah.
Now I could come off, but coming off is nothing new. Hitting hard and rough, in the meantime getting smooth. In the course of this rhyme, I show how smooth I could be. Like lyrics in effect stand for LIE.
Dude, I remember, man, when you guys came out, because you know, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but I was like, damn, these guys are getting on, and I was with John Wallinger. I don't know if you know John Wallinger.
Yeah, I know John.
Yeah, me and him had a group.
John.
Yeah, Crazy John, man. We had a group. We were called Change of Scenery, and
Okay.
I was MC Survive, and he was Capacity, and we would do these rhymes.
Thinking of a rhyme, one to fit the times, one that makes sense, line to line. A lot of problems, a lot of misery, a lot of people trying to be what they can't be.
And one time we battled Cap and Tom J back in the day.
Really?
And yeah,
Nice.
dude, it didn't go well for us.
Cap and them was nice too.
Yeah, dude,
Cap was serious.
yeah, he was, dude. I'm
Yeah.
surprised I know he still produced and did some stuff because he's Charlie's, like he's related to Marauders,
Yeah, he's his cousin.
Yeah, so but Cap was like, he was I think he did some stuff with RA, the Rugged early on and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
Cap was for real, and they came in and wanted to battle us or whatever, and it it didn't go good for me and John. Let's just say we got a wake up call. but yeah, so we were doing our thing, but we saw you going off, and yeah, and
that
so
was a blessing, that was a great opportunity for us back then. It was like, I think we signed the deal in like late 87, and then 88 we came out, because back then it was all about dropping singles. A lot of the labels wasn't putting out albums. They were dropping, especially if you first got on, they wanted to kind of see how things were going. So we did a couple of singles. It got on the Rap Attack. I mean, I remember when we got on the Rap Attack and heard that world premiere.
yeah,
It was like, oh, we made it. And then, we came out, and I think it was either Word Up or Right On. But it was one of those magazines that we came, we was in. And then being in high school, and you taking the magazines and walking around high school, and people actually seeing you in there with Kid and Play and EPMD and Public Enemy and all, everybody was like, oh, they the next ones. They're gonna do it.
yeah, man.
Unfortunately, it didn't go that way, but it opened our mind to, what the possibilities were.
When everything is with it and you're hung on the groove, I run down the line just a bit too smooth.
Yeah, man, for sure, dude. And yeah, like I said, man, it just opened up a whole new. And I remember going. I think me and John went to Frank's Records and Tapes over there. Remember, by Brent City back in the day, and we bought your single, man. And
Okay.
yeah, man,
that.
yeah, dude. So
I know y'all was like, how did these guys get on a record deal?
We were like, damn, man. We were like, we're next. We wanted to. We thought we had something too, but we were never even close.
Let me tell you how that happened. We got that deal because of Frank, from Frank Record Store, because we used to be in that record store almost every day, hanging out with Frank, rapping. And one day, a label guy came and said, yo, I'm looking for some guys to sign from Long Island. They was from Queens. The Dope Beat Recordings was based out of Springfield, Queens. And they was like, we looking for some guys that can rap. And Frank said, these guys in here every day rapping to me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they brought us, they came out, they heard us rap, and right after that, they said, yo, we want to sign y'all. And of course, KB was so crazy, and KB was just off the chain with it. So he wanted to sign his record deal right then and there. Country, my partner, he was more laid back. Me, I was like, nah, I couldn't do anything because I had to let my moms read it because I was 14 at the time.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
once my mom's read it, she asked me if that's what I really wanted to do. I said, yeah. She allowed me to sign the contract. We started going into the studio, and that's when I kind of really seen things. We started recording out of Charlie Murata's North Shore Soundworks.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we would run into Parrish and Eric all the time working on their first and second album. We would run into DOS Effects in there. We would run into Redman. So it was cool because now you talk about 88, 89. I'm 15 years old and I'm coming out of the studio, going home, watching Yo MTV Raps and seeing the same guys I'm in the studio with. Then going to high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like I wasn't just watching. I wasn't a spectator of hip hop. I was really a part of it because we're in there recording. They got a session after us. They outside hanging out in Charlie's driveway. We coming in. They're going out. We see Parrish and them coming in and going out. So it was always a constant seeing these guys because we were working. And then they would always give us words of encouragement. But it was cool to see it now that I look back and say, wow, I was really a part of it. Not so much the guy that was really just like buying the magazines and reading it and watching it on television, but I was actually a part of it. And then it got to the point when we started doing shows after high school and little things like that. And it really started to turn into something. So it was cool. It was really cool,
Yeah,
especially
man.
when we got our promo pictures, because that was the thing. Getting your promo picture with your logo, with your company logo on it, your name, your little pose.
Yeah.
And so once we had those all over
I remember those.
Jamaica Avenue too, we had them on. Everybody used to see them in Mr. Lee's. Mr. Lee had everybody's picture in it.
Yeah, man.
Everybody used to come back. Yo, I seen your picture on Jamaica Avenue. I seen you. So it was cool, man. It was cool, but it really opened my mind up to other things. It made me realize that I didn't want to be an artist. It made me really realize like being an artist and a front man and a rapper wasn't what I really wanted to do because, I kind of felt like I didn't have time for myself no more. You talking about 14, 15. It's a different time now.
Right,
we 14 in a major magazine with all these other rappers, but we in high school. And so nobody else is rapping in high school. It's just Parrish and them and us.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, they can't get the Parrish in them. So now you're walking down the hallway, everybody, yo, it was, for me at least, it was too much attention for me. And so I really I rapped for a while after that, and I realized that ain't really what I want to do. I want to be more behind the scenes. I think I'm more comfortable with being behind the scenes. I don't think I could ever been a rapper. Like I don't like the attention.
Yeah, it definitely, because you were pretty much the front man of that group too. You're a young guy, still in high school. Yeah, I mean, you haven't figured things out yet, as who you are. You're still coming of age, and all of a sudden, all the success starts popping off, and you're basically in hip hop history right now. You might not realize it at the time, but you're living inside of hip hop history. There's EPMD, there's Redman, there's DOS. These are guys that changed the game. I mean, EPMD changed a flow style. They're the whole kind of laid back, smooth. DOS Effects changed the whole flow style.
Right.
It's just like icons, man. You're chilling with icons, like Redman. You kidding? But
yeah, it was it was cool. It was a great experience. You don't really know what is it. You just for us it was like they were stars, we weren't, and we would try to be stars, and we would try to be like them.
Right, yeah.
And for them, they looked at us as the little dudes that got the record deal that they're trying to be like us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like big brothers to little brothers. But it was cool, it was cool to see. And then we also used to run into JVC Force a lot.
Strong Island, Strong Island. Yeah,
my boy Bill. You know what I'm saying? And so it was cool. It was a great time to be a part of that. But then, Craig Mack also. We were cool with Craig, grew up with Craig Mack as well. What I'm saying? I battled Craig one time. You know what I'm saying? And
Nah.
that was good because I surprised him. He didn't even, that was cool. We did that at the Brentwood Rec. But
Nice, man.
it was cool. We did it in the Brentwood Rec bathroom. He was rapping one day and outside the bathroom. Then we went in the bathroom and he spit a rhyme, then I spit a rhyme, then he spit a rhyme. I said, he was like, that's when I first met Craig.
Yeah.
But then, just everybody else from CI, K Solo and Keith Murray and all the other brothers that contributed to the game. So,
Dude, like I said, man, it's such a great time to come up in hip hop, man. I mean, it was the golden age. So many great rappers, like you said, with Craig. Like Craig, I used to work with Craig Mack at Toys R Us overnights. And we would rap battle, but he never really took me seriously. So he would like just make fun of me or whatever in a rap and then in a rhyme, and then I would just come back, and no matter what I said, he for some reason everything I said to him he thought was funny. So he would just be like funny in the sense that he just was like like I don't know what it was. He just couldn't take me seriously. But yeah, God bless him, man.
I'm kicking new flavor in your ear, Max, brand new flavor in your ear.
Right.
He had one of the hottest tracks out there. I think, he was, I don't know the all inside scoop, but look, he was, kind of passed over for Biggie, and
watch my documentary, the untold story of Craig Mack. It'll break a lot of that down for you, for you to understand, what happened at that time, why it happened, why the perception is, he was passed over for Biggie. I was really able to dive into it with everybody that was around him. It's the only documentary out on Craig Mack at this time.
Nice.
And I think it'll probably be the only one that's made.
Oh, he was just there paying his dues.
Yeah.
But Craig Mack benefited because he was around so many nice MCs, He was around me, he was around Eric, he was around DOS Effects, he was around Redman, 24 hours a day.
Did you ever get to like interview him? Because I know you interviewed like everybody pretty much in the scene.
You know what? I got a funny story about Craig Mack. Me and Craig was always cool, but once he got, and I got a couple of stories, but the day that Craig's album came out, he was at my house. We were coming from somewhere. He needed a ride. He didn't even have a car. And back then, I was a young fly dude. I had the two-door Acura Legend coupe with the rims on it, buzzing through Brentwood and everywhere else. So, I was on my fly guy stuff, what I'm saying? So, and I forgot where I picked Craig up, but he was telling you that his album was coming out that day. And I took him to Regis Park, that's where I grew up. And we, chilled at my crib for a minute. I introduced him to my mom, and then I took Craig somewhere and dropped him off. But the funny story is, once Craig actually started to get his success, he started to act a little funny, like, I don't want to say funny, but it's just like sometimes as your success grows, you grow beyond the people that's around you.
Right,
right. And there's nothing wrong with growing beyond the people that's around you. It's just how you treat them. You know what I mean? And I think Craig, if anybody know Craig had a big chip on his shoulder for a lot of different reasons. And once he had that success, he would flex that muscle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so here you go with Bad Boy, got the biggest record out. You still riding around in Brentwood. He still be at the barbershop getting his hair cut. We all crack jokes and stuff like that on each other. You know what I'm saying? He told me to meet him at Bad Boy at Daddy's House Studio one day. This is when I was doing All Access DVDs. Like, yo, meet me there tomorrow, JB. I'll be in the studio. So I get to the studio. I'm like, all right, Craig's supposed to be here. They're like, Craig. So I'll get up to Bad Boy. I mean, not Bad Boy, Daddy's House Studio. The front desk is like, is Craig got a session today? They're like, hold on, let me find out. So I'm at the front. Now I came all the way in the city for Craig. Now this time, my All Access DVD is doing pretty well.
Right.
So, it ain't like it was just like my first issue. I probably was like on number 4 or 5 at that point.
And that was like a magazine on a DVD kind of thing. Yeah.
So they like, Craig ain't got no studio session today. So what I realized with Craig is Craig used to just say things to people just because it sound good and go about his day. And so, he had me go all the way up to Daddy's studio for nothing because he never picked up his phone after that, and he never did that session with me. So it's just funny to look back at it now. But he had a successful career, and he contributed a lot to hip hop. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think, I'm not saying Bad Boy wouldn't have took off, but it wouldn't have took off the way it did if it wasn't for Craig Mack and that record.
People don't understand, like when I talk, like, talk to younger people about, the hip hop that I came up in, and they don't understand how big Flavor in Your Ear was. It was like Hot 97 was like, hey, the station where Flavor's in your ear, here he is.
Right.
Like it was like a catchphrase, and it was the biggest song ever. And his style was like, nobody had that flow like him. And and the guy was just killing it. And then if you look at the rest of his story, and he got caught up in that cult, and dude, I mean, that's why I definitely want to watch your documentary. And
we tackle that too.
Man,
that, the cult and that,
because that was like some weird, scary, like that was like Twilight Zone stuff. When he's, when that guy's like, tell him, Greg, tell him what you got. And he's like, I can't rap anymore. I'm evil, and I'm like.
The devil tried to steal your soul, too.
Yes, amen.
But we took care of that thief.
Yes, praise the Lord. In the name of Jesus, thank you, Lord.
I'm gonna give all my money to you.
He went off the scene for so long, and then when he reappeared, it was that. And so it was really a big contrast to what you used to see him at his, at his height of, I guess, I don't want to even say at his height, but at a certain level in the music industry, and then to turn around years later and see him like, in some type of religious cult type of situation was really beyond me, because where we come from, we don't even, entertain nothing like that.
Name of Jesus. Well, I know to the world, the rap I kick will make you think I'm a lunatic, lost my mind or mentally sick. But for all mankind, this is it. New kingdom on the earth where the devil don't fit. No more bad times and no more wars. New Jerusalem, the city with the gold on the floors. Righteous laws, 1,000-year pause, the earth rejuvenated, Christ illuminated. I fight for the cause. I kick down doors the devil set up. See, I'm about to erupt. Mac's a warrior. I wear the armor of God. Fix your face, raise the bass, and stop looking so hard. You see, praising the Lord is easy for me. Craig Mack's right where he's supposed to be.
And he come from the same streets we come from. So it ain't even like, that ain't no Western Kansas, Oklahoma back. That was, we from New York. That don't really happen in, what I mean? So for you to fall into that, maybe he was looking for something, searching for something. Maybe he found it there, but it was just shocking to me, because it's like, I knew the guy.
Yeah, man.
I knew the guy before the success, and I knew him after it.
Yeah, man. So, but if people who aren't familiar with Craig Mack, if they're watching this, you got to check him out. I'll put some clips in this interview. But yeah, you just gotta. To me, and
they got to check out the documentary I did.
Yes, check out the documentary.
All that, give him a full history of who he was, how he contributed to the game, how he started. It gives you a lot of information on Craig, and it got a lot of important people that helped him get there too in the documentary as well. So
yeah, right cool. On, man. And that's what I think is cool too. And like, so you throughout your career, you start doing that DVD type magazine, which was kind of revolutionary for the time period.
All access. You got what you want, all access, hot off the press.
That's what it is.
I mean,
baby. Definitely. So, after the music industry and me trying to be an artist and me deciding, okay, this isn't what I want to do, I started to get more interested in filming. And I said, well, I still want to be in the music industry, but I don't want to be an artist. What can I do? And I said, well, maybe I can be a music video director. That was like my first idea. So I ended up going to school in Manhattan called, the school was called the Center for Media Arts. And right now it was in Midtown on 27th Street, right around the corner from FIT on 6th between, what was that? Broadway, not Broadway, 7th and 8th.
Right, okay,
27th. Yeah. Right. And so, you got FIT, you got all the FIT students there, you got NYU not too far. So, it was a good time. And this is 91. In 91, I went there.
Right.
And so got my hands wet with television production. I ended up getting a television production degree, an associate's in television production. And I started to make my embarkment on the music industry after that. And so, trying to get into the music industry and not be an artist was something different. And at that time, everybody was trying to rap. Nobody was really trying to do anything with a camera. So it was like I was like a four-leaf clover, so to speak. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So everybody's rapping at this time. I'm the only one with a camera, learning how to edit back in the early '90s. And I came up with this idea. So one day I was at Blockbuster and I kept seeing, I kept hearing this commercial and it kept saying on VHS and DVD and VHS and DVD. And I had read an interview on one of the Source, or it was Double XL. I can't remember. And it was DMX, and DMX was complaining that he did this interview and they changed all his words when the interview came out. And I was like, wouldn't that be cool if you just interview the artist on camera? And then when it comes out, they can't say somebody changed their words. It's their words.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's the whole birth of this happening. And so even before that, I had a small business that did pretty well. Do you remember all the stores like Sid's Pants and Epic Stores and
Yeah.
Merry Go Round? They was in all the malls across the country. I
Yeah.
ended up convincing those store chains to let me create the TV programming in their stores. And I ended up getting a contract with over 100 stores across the country to create programming every month. And that's when I really started learning how to put programs together.
Like
And
a
so
looping
all those
video.
stores, right, when they had the looping videos, I was one of the companies that was doing it. And I
Damn.
even went to Foot Locker headquarters and had a meeting with them because I was actually gonna do it for Foot Locker.
Dude, that was, you were ahead of the times on that, because now every store has a looping,
Right.
video
Right.
thing going
Right.
on. Yeah, that's awesome,
Well,
man.
what they had back then, I thought was corny, and I thought I could add a different flair to it, and I did. And one thing led to another. I started off with like 2 stores in the South Shore Mall, and it did so well that they put me in over 100 stores across the country.
Damn,
And I
dude.
did that for a few years, and it opened a lot of doors for me. And that's really where the birth of All Access came from. It started with me doing the programming in all the malls, and then I said, the DVD kept ringing, and I said, I want to do a magazine a hip hop magazine on DVD. People could, they didn't have to fast forward or rewind it. They could just skip to go into whatever they wanted. I said, it's like a digital magazine.
In the year 2000, I had one of the hottest concepts in hip hop called All Access DVD. We were the first to put hip hop on a DVD and sell it worldwide. For 10 years, we dominated hip hop with that form of media.
Took me a while to get everything together because at that point, I didn't know anybody in the music industry except for Parrish and Eric and everybody else.
Right,
And,
right.
It was just crazy.
With the All Access magazine, do you have any of that? Like, do you put that to YouTube yet, or is that?
Nah. All that stuff is tangible stuff that it's gonna be part of my NFT collection, one-offs. I'm doing a couple of collections. I'm putting some NFT stuff together. So I'm just like, expanding my potential of revenue at this point. But that was my early history, the All Access DVD, and we were successful. And then, we were the first to come to the market. Then there was Smack, and then there was, everybody else that came after Smack, of course. And we did some important things and monumental things. We spearheaded the industry. A lot of guys followed how we did it in the beginning, and then they found their own way, which was cool. But nobody could take that away from us that, All Access was the first.
In a 10-year span, I sold well over 100,000 DVDs and was featured in every hip-hop magazine imaginable, plus MTV, building fans all over the world.
Right on, man. Yeah, and that's a thing that I really like what you do, like for the last, I don't know how many years are these kind of documentaries. You basically, you're doing these untold stories of of all these hip hop groups from the golden era, man. Like,
Right.
you know, I saw the, you know, Nice and Smooth, Stetsasonic, Daddy-O, shout
Right.
out.
Yeah,
I love that.
with Daddy-O. That's my guy, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
dude.
to Daddy-O and Stet.
Yeah, man.
First hip hop band.
That's right, man.
It's something to that. Large Professor can do it. Pete Rock can do it. I'm not them. So Pete Rock can make a beat and know how he gonna spit and be right. Large Professor can make a beat and know how. Me, I make a beat, I might not even want it from me. But Paul make a beat, I'll kill it.
Yeah, Daddy-O rocks, bro. I've done some stuff with him in the past. He's a great dude, and like one of the real you know, OGs. You know, came up early in the scene.
Yeah,
and brought a full band, and I'm surprised other rap groups didn't follow suit. I'm surprised, like, they're still one of the only rap bands, you know, in history.
You know, it's hard to play instruments, man. You know, a lot of cats wasn't really, you know, think about this. As we used to, just in Brentwood alone, used to have every sport. We used to have archery, you used to have golf, you have the tennis. And as time went on, they started pulling various different things from the students. It wasn't nothing you couldn't join in school. That's what made school fun. And then school got to a place where they took away a lot of these programs from people, you know, band and chorus and all these different things, teaching you how to play instruments, you know. And think about this. You go to school from 7th grade to 12th grade, learning how to play an instrument. They're teaching you. You know how much lessons are for like trumpet and piano and, you know, baritone and bass and, you know what I mean, saxophone and all these different things, you know, the wood instruments and stuff. So, you know, it's hard for cats to play instruments, and especially if there's nothing helping you along the way to learn. So it was easy to rap. It was easier to rap.
Right, yeah.
Pick up a guitar or a drum set or, you know, a horn or something.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's a great point, man. You take for granted growing up and having music lessons and shit. Like, you don't realize that, damn, dude, you know how much this goes for if you were doing this privately, you know, and then buying the instrument.
Right. And you're learning. And the thing is, it was so cool in school. You could do trumpet this year, saxophone next year. You know, you're learning 4 or 5 different instruments on the school. You know, you're learning that from 7th grade all the way up.
Yeah, man.
So, you know, we grew up in a great time, great era. But yeah, that was the early part of my career with like All Access, and got into that and went to school and got the, you know, degree. And yeah, what made me start, and you said, you know, you didn't know what year I started. I started the documentaries in 2014. And I just felt like at that time, you know, being a part of this game, you can't, at least for me, you know, you got to find what's missing. You can't just want to rap because everybody's rapping. You got to find something that makes you a little unique. And so for me, getting into film and documenting, you know, the history of hip hop, at that time, 2014, there was no Drink Champs. There was no artists really interested in what they would consider the golden era. They didn't really care about the past. It was all about from Lil Wayne or Biggie and Tupac. And I'm like, no, it was a whole crew of artists before Biggie and Tupac. And then, you know what I mean? So for me, it was like, I felt, why doesn't Stetsasonic have a documentary? Why doesn't K Solo have a documentary?
Right.
Why don't Rakim have one? Why don't Craig Mack? And I just started creating them. You know, I just started creating them because I said, if these stories aren't told, how much more time do we have left before they are? Before they're gone, before the artists are gone. You know, and at the time when I started, it was already 20-something, 25 years. Why we wouldn't have a documentary on Nice and Smooth?
Right. Yeah. Are you thinking about, and I agree with you totally, man. And I also want to commend you for doing that, because I think it's important to remember the kind of the forefathers of the genre, and also to, you know, give them props and the respect that they deserve. Because back in the days, you know, rappers weren't becoming millionaires like they are today if they become a hit song, like, you know, like the Nice and Smooths of the world and whatnot.
Right.
And but also too, it gives younger kids, if they opportunity to dig into the history and watch your documentaries and then go, oh damn, look at all this, like, you know, look at all these guys. And
not only the younger kids, even fans that were younger then that can watch it now and learn something about every DVD that I put together. You're gonna learn something from it. But this is what I'm gonna tell you. Remember this day when we did this interview. This is history between me and you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm definitely gonna be the next Tyler Perry, without a doubt. I'm putting that in the universe. I believe it. I know that it's true. Because I'm dedicated to the work that I feel I have a mission to complete. And I think my blessing from the Most High is to tell people stories through my lens and through a combined narrative of what I see and what it is with people around them. So I think I've been charged with that mission. And so when I started in 2014, it was because I loved Rakim so much. And one day I was on YouTube and I was looking for a Rakim documentary I wanted to watch, and there was none. Then I was like, okay, no Rakim documentary. Let me look up Big Daddy Kane. And it was no Big Daddy Kane. And a lot of the stuff that I looked up was stuff that fans kind of just put together, but it wasn't nothing official. I said, wow, no Big Daddy Kane? Let me see if there's a KRS-One. No KRS-One?
Okay. Yeah.
But I noticed, like, what was the show that VH1 had? Behind the Music was doing nothing but popular artists. So I'm like, okay, if they're starting with an Eminem, or they're starting with a Ludacris, or they're starting with this one, that's what people gonna think our hip hop history is? The documentaries on the guys that went platinum and had super success. So I said, no, there's a lane here for me to tackle. And since then, I've done over 25 documentaries in that span. And I'm proud to say it got on a lot of people's radar, especially when Craig Mack passed away. Yeah. That was the first one that kind of hit the market. Now, it took me about 2 years just to get people's attention.
Yeah.
But I got their attention now. So you can't think of a documentary, hip hop documentary in that era and don't think of me. And that's like part of my thing is I'm all about domination. I don't want to be a part of anything without dominating it. When I did All Access, I dominated. When I did the documentary series, I dominated. You know, I was turning out more documentaries than TV networks.
Yeah,
just as good as theirs.
Yeah, man.
And
you knocked them out, and so many great ones, dude. I watched a ton of them, like through the years, man. Yeah. Have you ever done any earlier stuff like Curtis Blow or Treacherous 3 or if you're or any of those guys back in the days?
That's before my time. What I did was what I grew up on and what I loved and what I liked. And so unfortunately, Curtis Blow and all of them was just I was way too young to really get into them.
Right, yeah.
My love for hip hop started with Hometown, EPMD, Rakim, Biz Markie, and you know, as great as a contributor to hip hop Marcel Theo Hall was, Biz Markie, he had no documentary.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I did an unofficial documentary with Biz Markie for Biz Markie. And he loved it. And then after I did it, he had said, you know, we need to get together and do it officially with me in it. Because when I started these, it wasn't with the artists. I was doing it with a lot of artists that knew them and was around them and people that was around them at the time. I just thought it would be a cool perspective. One, I didn't want to do it with the artists because I wanted to do it from my perspective. It was my narrative. It was me showing homage to the contributions and highlighting their music, their success, and just their talents and skill level to the culture. And that's what the documentary was really set to do was for them to look at it and be like, wow, this dude put this together dope. And, you know, he got all my people in there. So that's really what it started. As I began to do them, the artists started contacting me that I didn't do documentaries on and say, hey, man, I like that untold story you did on such and such. You should do one on me. That's how the artists started to get involved. I never really reached out to the artists. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show you, when you do solid work and you believe in what you believe in, and you have I always had a goal, the end goal. It was start here, get here. I knew at some point artists was going to say, yo, you should do my documentary.
It's like, if you build it, they will come. Yeah.
Right. Me doing their documentary was a whole difference than me doing one for them. It's like, if I take your life, you don't even know I'm doing this, and I celebrate all your successes and, you know, your accomplishments and your achievements along the way, and I put this out, you're gonna look at it and say, wow, this guy took all this time to do this for me. I don't, you know, I didn't ask him to do that. Right, and it's dope, right? And it's dope. That's gonna make you feel like, wow, maybe I should do one, you know, or someone else that comes from a bigger platform, maybe a VH1 or a BET, and that's really what it was about. So I say all of that to say I did all of that. I started getting the artists to kind of come in and say, hey, let's do some things together. So right now, you know, Biz Markie passed away recently.
Yeah, God bless, man.
Within the last several months. Blessed to him and his family, Diamond Shell and his wife and his family members, Cool V. And I developed a relationship with Cool V over the last few years. So I'm officially doing the official Biz Markie documentary now with Cool V, and we're gonna have a lot of the Juice Crew members in it, and a lot of people that loved and known them. So we're gonna do a whole different spin, and it's gonna be from Cool V's perspective of
oh, that's gonna be dope, man.
Biz. Yeah, so we just started filming that.
Are you getting like Shan and all them? You getting like Roxanne? And...
I mean, like Cool V said, everybody that's supposed to be in it and want to be in it will be in it.
Right
you
on.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So right now, I'm whoever you can think of could possibly be in it. You know what I mean? Will Smith. It could, you know, Biz was loved by so many different people.
Yeah, man.
And so once people really know we out here doing the official joint, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a lot of people that want to contribute their commentary to the project. And I think this is gonna be, you know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so important to anybody that's watching. You got to really, really believe in your talent and yourself, and don't sell yourself short. You know, and that's one thing that anybody that really knows me, they'll tell you, like, I just don't go for anything. You know, like I understand the value of my work. I understand the value of my talent, and I don't let people push me in any direction. You know, you got to really, really, if you want to make it in this business, you got to be willing to sacrifice, but you got to be willing to be committed to the process of success. And that doesn't mean you do something and it blows up. The process of success may take some time, but each thing you do, the better and better you get at it. Trust me, people are watching you. There's been so many people that watch my work that never commented, never said nothing. And I go somewhere and I'm like, they'll tell me the whole thing. Yo, I did this, I watched this. I'm like, word? You ain't never said one word to me about it. You never left a comment. And it just lets you know, sometimes people just sit back and watch. So I was never motivated by money either.
Right. You know? Yeah. Same here, bro.
Money has never been my motivation. My motivation has always and purely been opportunity. I'm an opportunity guy, not an opportunist, an opportunity guy. I seek opportunity because I think opportunity lends itself to being a way to get to the revenue or the monetary value.
Exactly.
You know, man. So I look for opportunity quicker than I look for money. You know, like, money ain't my focus. But one of the things I'm so proud of is I built enough success in my career to raise my family, raise my children, be in their life every step of the way, never out of their life, watch all my children grow up and become, you know, young adults into adults, you know, Every birthday I'm there. I'm not missing anything. And just to watch them grow, the greatest, for me, the greatest, I don't care, out of all the accomplishments and things that I've done in life, the greatest job for me has always been, and it will never outdo, is being a father.
Right on, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, and now all my hard work, I remember when I first started, I was doing 16 to 18 hours a day building my company for like 3 years straight. I would never sleep. No sleep.
Yeah.
No sleep. I sacrificed a lot. And that's why, when people talk about the music industry, they all usually talk about the side that they see, the award shows, the interviews, the music videos, the parties, the planes, the girls, the juries, but you rarely see all the work and all the years that it took for you to see that. All the time spent, the arguments with family and wives and girlfriends, and people feeling like you're leaving them behind and you're acting different. And, it's a lot. You got to be careful what you ask for. Because when you get it, you better know how to deal with it.
Dude, we're a lot alike in that regard, man. Because I'm not motivated by money either. I'm motivated, like just like you, by kind of like opportunities, because you build on it, and your hard work does pay off in all kinds of ways, and also, like you said too, let
me tell you something, Don. Hard work pays off, but smart work pays better.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, man.
Don't be taking my shit either.
That's gonna be my Facebook post now.
That's right. Hard work pays off, but smart work pays better. And I tell anybody that you got to know how to work smart, man. I've seen a lot of people work hard and get it, and I've seen a lot of people work smart and get it even better.
Yeah, true indeed, man.
You got to know how to do it. But
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say too, man, because I know we're running up on an hour, is that the music business didn't really make me my money. My success, I got a lot of notoriety out of the things that I've done, but the music business by far didn't put me in the position that I'm in now. And that's what people have to understand about opportunity. The music industry with All Access opened the door for me that I couldn't pay for to be open. It gave me access, unprecedented access to all kinds of artists, all kinds of executives, all kind of ad agency people. But you have to know how to move when you're there.
Right,
and if you get caught up in the fact that you feel, I didn't even know I was successful until people told me. That's how hard I was working. I didn't know I was successful. I was just working.
Right. Yeah.
People was telling me I was successful, but I didn't know that because I was working too damn hard. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I'm talking about. But I also was smart enough to realize I'm in a different space. And in this space, I have to realize that my potential had to go beyond holding a camera on cats and doing an interview. And so I decided to start a marketing company, because through those years of building my business and creating a network of people that I had relationships with and building a valuable platform, All Access DVD was a valuable platform. It was what Twitter and Instagram was now.
Right. Yeah.
This is pre-internet. This is pre-Instagram. This is pre-Facebook.
Yeah.
I think the only thing at that point when we ended All Access was Facebook, and nobody was really on Facebook. I remember back then, this is the ringtone era when artists didn't even want to have ringtones. Remember, they didn't want to be called a ringtone rapper.
Right. Yeah.
But my point of saying what I'm saying is that my money did not come from the music industry. I had to realize the value of where I was and what other opportunities I could make. So I decided to start a marketing company because I had all these relationships with artists and all these brands that wanted to tap into music and artists. And so I started to develop relationships with clothing companies, car companies, and then I already had the relationships with the artists. So at some point in my career, you guys start seeing me doing commercials for Audi and Wise potato chips. I mean, I've did all kind of stuff. But the point is, I learned to say, you gotta learn how to scale your business. You gotta think differently. You're in a different space now. You're around, Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino. You're in a different room.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta know how to make yourself known in that room, and that's something that I'm very good at. I know how to make my presence felt. And since I was able to do that, I was able to start a marketing company that gave me the leverage and the financial freedom to scale my business. So yeah, All Access made money, but it didn't make me the money to be able to buy a beautiful home, move my family to another state, invest in other things. I got into real estate. I own crypto. I got into the cannabis business as well. And then, one of my aspirations is to build a film studio here in Charlotte, the first Black-owned film and television production studio in Charlotte. And that's going to happen. So the reason why I'm telling you this is history, because you saved this footage, because somebody's going to come to you, Don, and say, we want to license this. He told you this a few years before it happened. And if you think you've seen Kanye West believe in himself, I'm 3 times Kanye West. I'm just not as loud as he is. That's all. But anybody will tell you, I don't think nobody could mess with me when it comes to what I do.
Right on, man. Dude.
What I do, it takes a team of people to do, and I do it by myself. And that's not a flag to say, hey, I don't need people. It's just that when you see my work, that's all me. And that's not by choice. It's just that I haven't found the right people that work as hard as I do at this point. Some people that I've came across in my career do, and they went into different directions to do other things, and that's respectfully. But you can't be on my team and I outwork you.
Yeah.
If I outwork you, then I might as well do it myself.
Dude, I feel like you've been focused and kind of setting yourself up for this goal since the beginning. If you think about it, it all adds up to now. It's all coming to the point, and the goal is to be the next Tyler Perry and then some. And I think you're on the right trajectory. I think it's gonna happen. I'm saving this footage, man, because it's
gonna be worth something valuable. Trust me when I tell you that.
Yeah, man, I'm all for you, bro. Like I said, I've been watching you for years, brother. I'm a fan. I want to see you freaking get it, man. Get it all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the goal. The goal is, we get to a point in our life, like, I'm gonna be 50 in April 14th, so that's about 2 weeks from now. No,
nice, man.
About 9 days. So I'm excited because that's a half a century. I look at the first part of my life and I say, wow, it was amazing. All the things that I was able to see, able to do, people I was able to meet, friendships I've developed, business endeavors that got me here. But that's the first part of my life. Man, I could imagine what the second part is going to be, because I got so much knowledge now and understanding and more confidence and more motivation. So I'm excited. And I think some of the things that I got involved in early, I think maybe I was a little too ahead of my time for certain things, but I truly feel like right now is the right time. Like the timing for everything I'm doing is right. It's all synced now. So I'm just, I'm happy. I'm happy, like I said, and I didn't want to be one dimensional. That's why I started diversifying my talent and ability to get into other things. That's why I started to, excuse me, to tap into real estate and get into crypto and NFTs and
all smart moves, investments. Yeah, man, all smart moves, bro.
Generational wealth, man.
Yeah, man. This was awesome talking to you, bro. Finally getting to talk to you after all these years. But tell everybody where they could find you, follow you, and also find these documentaries and where all where they can get all this stuff.
All right, so you can follow me on Instagram at Industry Muscle @Industry Muscle. My YouTube channel is KRAZE, the King of Content. All my documentaries is on. I actually provide Don with a link so that you can actually click on it, and it'll take you to all the documentaries that you can see that I produced. But over the last few years, I sat down and I developed writing. I've been writing shows, so I wrote 5 new shows. I'm launching my own streaming platform in 2024, and right now, between 2022 and 2024, we're producing 5 shows that I wrote. So I'm just really kind of focusing on the writing part that I did over the last 2 years. Now we're producing the shows, and then I'm going to launch my own streaming platform that focuses on and it's genre for specific, meaning it tackles hip hop from 1985 to 2010, and it's not a subscription based platform. It's a pay-per-view platform, so you just pay as you go, and you pay for what you want to watch. But it's real cool. I got a couple of shows. I'm launching a new show on YouTube with executive produced by me and Paris Smith from EPMD called "Giving Them Their Flowers." This is the first time you'll see Paris on camera as a on camera host, just highlighting the careers of his peers, along with Super Lover C. Shout out to Super Lover C from Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd. So that's the show that's coming at the end of April, early May. And I have a series, a docu-series coming out called The Golden Era of Cold Chillin'. And that's with one of my mentors, Fly Tie. Shout out to Fly Tie. The owner of Cold Chillin' Records, who brought you Roxanne Shante and Biz Markie and Big Daddy Kane and Coogee Rap and the whole Juice Crew, Marley Marl. And he allowed me to create 13 exciting and interesting episodes about his life during the era of Cold Chillin', which is gonna be bananas.
Dude, you got a lot cooking. I'm psyched to see it all.
Let me just say this, and the Biz Markie documentary that we just started that I'm executive producer with Cool V. And we just started working on that. So yeah, man, I got a few things, Don Sell.
Dude, you're the man, man.
Hey man, my job is always be the man. If I wasn't the man, you wouldn't want to talk to me, right?
You rock, brother. The king of content himself, everybody. James KRAZE Billings. Thank you so much, man.